Hey y'all, my name is Mika and welcome to my channel. So, my channel is all about recovery, weight loss, self-esteem building, self-love, financial growth, things like that. So 2022 wasn't my best year. 2021 wasn't either. But anyway, 2023, I'm manifesting to be even better. So, a little bit of backstory about me. I started off at 325 pounds, and that is my highest weight. Currently, I'm sitting at 147 pounds. So, I was a plus size model. I've never had issues with confidence or anything like that. Actually, I kind of liked being the thick girl. I'm pretty short too. So, like I always told people, Duncan Hines ain't had nothing on mine. Anyway, so about 12 years ago, I injured myself. I was a home health aide taking care of my father, and we had a Hoyer lift malfunction. That's the thing that you use to take people out of the bed and move them to one destination to the next. So I was taking him out of the bed and I was moving him to his wheelchair so he can go out in the backyard to watch the kids play in the pool for 4th of July weekend. That's what happened. So I had managed at that time to come from 325 to roughly 285. So I was making progress, right? I was active, etc. Matter of fact, the day before, we were just down at the Salt River, down there swimming, having a good time. Matter of fact, I think I did a backflip off the side of the little cliff over there. Love to swim. Getting back to the point. I got hurt pretty bad and I ended up wheelchair, walker. I still hung out with friends. I went over there with my cane as I was going through rehabilitation and etc. I even joked about putting um, gemstones on my cane. I was just going to bling it out. I was still going to stay me. Well, through the recommendations of my doctor, I needed to have a laminectomy. That's to kind of remove some of the bones and saw down some of the tendons to make it more comfortable, to relieve some of that pain and give me back some mobility. So I went and had the surgery done, and I was still on my cane, and it was very difficult to walk. And I kept calling my doctor and telling him, hey, this is a really painful situation. And I was also having, like this really sharp pain in my left leg. And I remember going to a party with my friends. It was like a kiddie party, like arcade type of thing. So we're all there and the kids are having a good time. And I just could not shake this pain in my leg. And at the time, because I was still a big girl, I had asthma and a lot of other health issues. And I couldn't breathe that well. So I'm kind of over there panting. And I was like, you know what? As soon as I leave here, I'm going to go home and take a nap or something. So I left there, took the kiddos home, did some laundry, but I still couldn't breathe. So I went on and went to the emergency room. Come to find out, I want to say it had to be 3 to 4 days after the laminectomy surgery. I had blood clots in my left leg, and I had blood clots in my lungs heading to my heart. So I had PE, pulmonary embolisms, as well as DVT. So, with that being said, it was just a matter of time before the clots had went to my heart and had killed me. But that didn't happen. In fact, I didn't even have to have surgery. I was really, really blessed in the fact that I took myself on to the hospital and not ignored it. So that was the scary part, and the work on my back stopped at that point. Advised that the laminectomy failed because of my weight issues. I became more aggressive at it because that was a recommendation of my doctor. Lose more weight and we'll revisit your back. So I started looking into different food options and I started cutting out more meat, etc. And then I went to a vegan diet, vegan lifestyle. I went down to, lost another 20 some odd pounds. Then my doctor started telling me about it was probably a good idea that I went and see a gastric specialist. So I did. And I know that was something that they were talking about with my dad at one point. My dad had an obesity issue as well. He was up to 500 pounds. And so I went and saw this doctor, and we talked about a gastric sleeve. Okay, no problem. Went in and talked to them. I went and had the procedure done. Two things occurred. One, I couldn't keep up with their diet because it did have milk in it, so I was pretty adamant I wanted to stick to my own diet. Two, I don't think that that was the wise choice for me. I'm not saying that gastric sleeves are 100% bad. What I will say is it is simply a tool. And if you're not mentally or physically ready for that tool, it's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. It's dangerous. And it was dangerous for me. In fact, when I left the hospital, I ended up right back in the hospital for over a month. And if I knew then what I know now, I would not have chose that option. I had more of a fight on my hands after having the laminectomy than I did prior to. One of my lungs was filled with fluid, and I had to have that pumped out. Maybe one day I'll show you what that vial looked like. It was like a container like this. Can you see that? A container like this, full of my fluid, my lung fluid, and we had to do that twice. I also ended up with, what was it? I think it was my stomach or something. Anyways, there was something else that went on in there, and I had to have another surgery. Anyway, at the end of the day, between infections and drowning in my own fluids, it wasn't worth it sitting in there for an additional month, in a hospital for an additional month. And in fact, I ended up gaining weight. I got to the point where I didn't want to eat anything that they were bringing me. I was sneaking down to the cafeteria just to get vegetables. I asked nurse staff to kind of leave me alone. I went into a meditative state by myself. I had my own crystals brought in to me, and I did Reiki, and I decided that I was only going to eat vegetables, and I did, and I had my protein brought to me, and I ended up leaving the hospital when I decided I was ready to go. At that point, I had put my faith in a higher being than medical staff. And I do believe that's why I ended up getting together and leaving that hospital. And from that day point, I have stayed with my my herbs, my medicine, my holistic practices, and etc. In '08, I did get licensed to be able to practice holistically, etc. So I contribute the major point of my weight loss to my holistic practices, from going through that very near life death situation and just getting real with myself and using food as a tool, as a nutrient. Don't get me wrong, don't get it wrong. I love to eat. I still love to eat. But how I choose to eat now versus how I choose to eat then is extremely different. It's extremely different. My appreciation and gratitude for food is so much different. So that's that part, and I can totally go into all of that different. My channel, I do wish to share with you guys the food, the herbs I eat, the vitamins I take, because like I said, I don't eat meat, so I have to get my protein from other sources. The lowest I've been so far is 127 pounds. I'd like to get back there. My next surgery, because I do have to get my back taken care of, I have spinal stenosis, I have sclerosis. I can never say it right. Scoliosis, there we go. I got it out. Yay, me. Scoliosis, disc degenerative disease. So I'll be having another laminectomy, and I will be having spinal fusion 3 layers, so from S1 to L4. Yeah, L4, L5. So that'll be taken care of. And I have, from what I understand, there's like some fracturing going on too around my sacral area. I do yoga, and more specifically, I practice yin yoga every day, and I do some light working out with my son. That's about the extent of my physicalness at this point. And slowly working on my home. I'm sure you guys noticed that my house doesn't look like a normal house. Yes, I live in a 40-foot school bus. Me and my daughter do. That's a whole nother situation. Y'all can ask me about that later. Anyway, so the point of my YouTube is, again, to kind of give you guys an idea of what it's like to prepare for surgery. A lot of these videos that I see on YouTube have a lot to do with the surgery and then after the fact, but I want to kind of give you guys the beforehand and then the surgery and then after the fact, because I didn't always prepare right. And I think that that's kind of what has a lot to do with going into surgery and healing. What you do before surgery has a lot to do with how you get through surgery. It has a lot to do with mindset and etc. Now, because of my spinal issue, I also have nerve damage problems, and I'm working with a neurologist as well because I also have seizure disorder. I have migraine issues I deal with. The migraines can sometimes cause memory issues or just extreme agitation, irritability. It's a real thing. It is. Anywho, so from one day to another it can be difficult. From one moment to another it can be difficult. This is why I say my moments. I do have different moments from one moment to another. So we're going to see how this spinal fusion and, you know, cutting down some of these nerves and giving me a break here, because it's been several years, is going to affect my life overall. Reason being, I don't take any medication. Pain management is very difficult when you're not taking medication. Prior to, I have been on the Percocets and things like that, and I didn't like the getting off process. So I don't want to take any now. I know that after I have the surgery, they're going to give me something, obviously, for the pain. But as of right now, I want it to be a fresh experience for me. I don't want to already be desensitized or used to it, so I'm already starting off at a higher dose. I want to start off at a lower dose of pain medication so it's easier to get off of the medication. I've worked as a drug and alcohol counselor before, and I don't like the idea of methadone. I just personally don't. So, been there, done that with the morphine and the Percocets and all that before, and this is personal choice. I don't wish to be on any pain medication, so it can be very difficult from one day to another. How I've been getting through so far, sometimes medical marijuana works, sometimes it's yoga that'll get me through. Most of the time it's a lot of meditation. I soak in hot baths of between a mixture of Himalayan sea salt and Epsom salt works wonderful. Massages, I'm constantly massaging myself, but that's a whole nother video. Again, I'm just kind of giving you guys little tidbits of what's to come. Also, I will be in the next, 62 days, January 22nd, I'll be having my surgery. So in the next 62 days, I will also be super launching my entrepreneurship. So next 62 days, I need my business to flourish because I will be down and out. So with that being said, that's a whole nother thing that'll be, how am I working during all this? What am I doing for income? Yes, I've applied for disability several times over the years. It is not an easy thing to do. So I have to figure out how to, instead of using my body, which has gotten me in this place of injury in the first place, I can't use my body like I used to. So now I'm practicing on how to be a little bit more cerebral. Let's get my mental together. Right now I'm studying for my securities test. I am life licensed, and I will be working on that securities test, studying here, and hopefully I can get that done here soon. and moving on to my mortgages. So the idea is to be able to work remotely and independently, so that way I don't have to worry about someone else telling me that I didn't show up to work or not. Some days I can, some days I can't. I need to be my own boss. I need to be in control of me, period. So that's what I'm doing. So if I call you, pick up the phone. I might be offering you a wonderful opportunity. So that's me, Mika, and welcome to my mini moments. Have a good one, you guys. Oh, by the way, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and right after Christmas, you know what's next? Kwanzaa. So if I don't talk to you or you don't see another video from me, have a wonderful holiday and a great new year. Bye.